Accept your death.
So this past week has been very eventful in multiple ways, actually. But one of which is I actually got to try shallots for the first time.
Hey, throwback to podcasts like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right? I went to the grocery store and I gotsted them, and I found them at first a little awkward to chop, like just being smaller and like, you know, I don't know what they were. Once I figured it out, it was fine. But initially, I was like, how do I go about this? You know, the weird little
Could you
stumps on
notice
the
a
ends.
difference right away, like when you sliced into it?
Oh, 100%.
Like the way that, like the aroma and things?
When you mentioned that it was sweeter, that was like apparent right away. Like you could just smell the sweetness of it as opposed to like a red onion. It was very apparent. So that was really exciting for me. And I put it in a little chicken Mediterranean salad thing, and it was fantastic. I definitely
Yummy.
like 8 out of 10. Definitely recommend for anyone. It was pretty good times all around, I would say.
How did that come up? Was that a vegetable tier list? Or am I thinking the bread tier list? How do we start talking about vegetables?
Well, that was my like not New Year's resolution-ish kind of thing, and then we were asking people what kind of vegetables.
Yeah, favorite vegetables.
Yeah, I feel like for a Mortal Kombat podcast, we have some really weird, conversations. Well, not weird, but like, I like to have a little bit of off-topicness, like, what's your opinion on pumpernickels, like,
Hashtag unrelated.
Yeah, you have a little unrelated segment. We're not going to be unrelated to the comments that you left last week, so let's get into those, because I'm excited for this first one. So Shinfits says, that Combat League conversation was prime, and I told you that I would get prime going. It was a thing. It took less than a day. People are already saying it. I don't make the rules. I mean, if something's good, it's good.
I mean, for the record, Dink didn't even notice that comment. I'm the one that noticed that comment. It went right past him. I had to point out that it was about his discussion last week, so... Is it catching on? I don't know. You don't sound very invested, Dink.
Hey, you know what? I find your lack of investing in my thing not very prime. You could be more prime there. But to the second part of the comment about the Combat League conversation, I'm that's actually good feedback for us, because I think that kind of like talking about like the different levels and all that kind of stuff. I think that's stuff that people don't talk about enough. And I had a story actually for this Combat League that I kind of wanted to go into, because I started the season horribly, like really bad. And I'm like, there's not a chance that I like got that bad overnight. Like, I think I was, after my first stream, I was like 3-11 or something like that. But I noticed that all the people that I were fighting were like 1 win, 1 loss. 1 win, 0 losses.
Yeah, just like when you play at the very beginning of the season like that, it's going to be like everybody fighting their way to the top after a rank reset like that, right? I like to wait like 3 or 4 weeks, especially these long-ass 60-day seasons. Yeah, I have no problem waiting and let everybody that wants to play it, you still run into people here and there, right, that waited like I did. But yeah, maybe that's your problem, you think? You just all those gods and elder gods
they're
down
just
there with you in warrior and apprentice working their way up.
Just restarting everyone's restarting, it's like crabs in a bucket kind of a thing. So
what did you make it up to? What level?
I think now I'm at warrior level, and now I'm starting to chug along pretty good now here. So it's just that initial punch that was kind of, if you're struggling in there, like Hatyr said, maybe give it a couple days and let the sweats just sweat it out and get their run started, so that you can have a little bit more of a clear cut run. Because now once I'm in like the middle of the pack, now it's kind of smooth sailing. And then in previous seasons, I've found that those middle sections are fine up until Demigod, and then the sweat begins again, like we were talking about last week.
Yeah, less peaks and valleys. It's pretty stable, because they break it up into like 9 ranks. And I feel like the middle ranks, those middle 3, whatever master and grandmaster, are like the most stable. Like that's the kind of like coasting. Like right before you get to grandmaster, I feel like you start feeling a little bit more resistance again.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree with that for sure. So, and that's not something I ever really like realized before until this season, So it was interesting for me because learning experience, and I was getting pretty emo on myself, like what the hell happened? Oh my god, maybe I just quit playing these games and go play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something, some solo game or something. Maybe I'm done with these fighting games, but no, I just had to get past that initial hill, that initial plateau.
It's a test of like your mental endurance, and that's a test I fail all the time. But that's a good way to kind of, and also a good opportunity to tell yourself to like walk away and do something else after like a lost streak. You can't really do that while you're streaming, right? Or that might be a time for like a viewer set or something, or another sort of set. But definitely get away from ranked if you're in the middle of a lost streak. That's something I picked up from all the Marvel's advice or the Rivals advice that's been floating around. But I think it applies to just everything. Like, don't salt queue.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going in with bad mentality.
Yeah.
Get out of there, get some wins, and then go back in.
Yep.
Good advice. More Combat League advice. If you'd like stuff like that, let us know, like the comment did there. And we'll make sure to have more Prime conversations about that. So,
Prime conversations.
See?
Sounding a lot like that Jake Paul beverage, You're going to keep saying Prime.
I think
you need to stick with Primal.
See, well, you said it was too many syllables, so. All right, we're starting. Let's check in again next week.
But
Primal.
then I said gnarly was a good word, and that's 2 syllables. What do I know?
All right, let's see. I'm going to count how many comments next week have the word primal in it, and we'll see if this is catching on. So we're switching. Prime was a hit. We got 2 primes on our comments. But
you got 2 primes from the same commenter. That only counts as 1. I'm sorry.
1.5. Give me 1.5. Come on here, Hatyr.
1.2.
1.2. All right, that's not very primal of you, but we'll check back next week and see if it's taken off into our comments.
That's hella primal. What are you talking about?
hella primal. All right, next comment here. We got Yetsky. Watched an old MK11 tournament Dink hosted. I was cooking. Man, I hosted a lot of Mortal Kombat 11 tournaments. I was actually looking back at it, and like the Bone Hawk League, we ran for like multiple seasons, and just kind of made me sad because I hosted the Bone Dome for 1 season, and it made me not want to run a tournament ever again. Like the way
it's a lot of work,
It's specifically, I think, more MK1, like not having any lobbies, having to add everybody to their WB IDs. A lot of the times their WB IDs are different than what their actual gamer tag is, so I have to remember who's who and all that kind of stuff. And it was just a pain. It was just a pain, and then people trolling and all that kind of stuff, ruining the fun for everyone. I don't know.
And like, to be honest, and this is merely just an observation and not a diss towards anybody that's doing anything like this, because I think it's good to have all these online circuits and things, but we're a little oversaturated. And there was actually some discussion on Twitter about that because players are signing up for multiples. There's so many that there's a lot of overlap. And then there's delays because people are in multiple tournaments. They're in the middle of another set, so everyone's waiting on them for the other one. So people have 1 or 2 hours of downtime between their first match or their losing match and then their losers bracket run and stuff. And it's like, dude, just like you were doing 8-man brackets or 8-person brackets, and it was still like 4.5 hours or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a grind, man. It's a grind. So well, if there's a little bit of improvements in how things are, I might take a look at it again, but I'm kind of over hosting events right now. And like you said, it's oversaturated. There's just too much stuff going on. There's Coliseum and Champions of the Realms and all that kind of stuff. There's MKX Revival happening too. So,
and there's Shiro Ryu Sundays, and there's the Lightning Dome. There's all sorts of stuff. I feel like there's something happening every single night.
And I will say, I do remember a lot from my time when I was doing TO in Seattle. Of like, it was super annoying if you had people in multiple games and the whole bracket is like tied up because somebody's playing another game somewhere, and it's like, how long do we wait until we DQ these people? And it's like, it happened a couple times in the Bone Dome too, where someone's like, well, I'm playing in this other tournament, so I'll be around, and it was like, ugh. But like you said, oversaturated. So,
and we can't forget about I failed to mention Rips. Obviously, Rip streams every single day. Did you Here, you should overlay this on the podcast. Just make sure nobody misses it. This is from a Rip's tweet. They always make these really out of pocket thumbnails, but I
That's great. I love that.
I love like Gentleman Sector and Gentleman Quan,
Yeah, that's
Ashra and Natara, and they're like cocktail dresses. That's funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah, if you're listening, that image will be on screen right now, so you can enjoy it alongside with us. I love how Quan Chi's front and center. That's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. So
all proper.
So speaking of Quan Chi, we got a balance patch this week with Conan, and
oh yeah, what they changed with Quan Chi?
Not a damn thing.
Wow.
However,
feels bad.
Having said that, 2 Quan Chis did make top 8 at Frosty Faustings this weekend. So that was pretty crazy. Woolander and Epic Zupa, I believe, both made top 8. So congrats to the
I haven't watched
boys.
the VOD yet. I missed the mainstream. I had some other things happening. So I haven't watched the VOD yet. I probably should have before we started recording this, but we can talk about that next week. Have you watched through all of it?
I haven't watched it either, so maybe we'll watch it and revisit it. I did see I think it was Han Rashid that popped off so hard he broke the stream.
I saw something about that in passing, and I saw a couple matches from. I was watching on Friday. I was watching Mustard's restream of the local thing, the locals versus the invaders, Midwest versus the invaders.
Oh, right.
I saw a couple watch him kind of. Because shout out to Mustard. He's in the UK, obviously, so he can't watch this live, and so he usually just does a restream on his stream with his own commentary the next day, which is like almost better, right? Because you're getting like kind of like technical breakdown and pause and rewind and really intentional ad breaks and stuff that line up with it. So I like to watch him a lot to kind of catch up on stuff that I've missed.
Catch up. I never get to watch him because I'm usually working when he's streaming, and then he's usually snoozing away by the time that I get home from work. So our schedules are opposites. Never get to watch.
Right.
But week just under a week now. With Conan out, I played through Invasions with Conan until I got him to level 20, and then I kind of hopped off him. But he was fun. He's a fun little character to mash around with, like cool little strings. I like that he has like a little restand thing with similar to like what they gave Ghostface for his combos. Makes his synergy with Shujinkydink quite fun. Combo pass are fun.
I'm gonna say Conan belongs in that category that we always kind of go on about of like those really well developed, fleshed out toolkits with a lot of sauce and stuff that makes it unique to them. So characters like Ermac and Ghostface and Conan and Takeda and we've talked about this before. It's all the ones that have come out like way after, just how the cameos got better and better as the DLC went on, right? Because they had more time to work on it. And even though they've gone back and added some stuff to some of the older ones, but my point stands, right? Remember the first reaction was how rigid and stuff he looked, and he does not seem that way at all.
No, definitely not. He's pretty fluid, all things considered, actually. The way he moves and the way things go together and his combo strings and stuff, he's a lot of fun. I actually didn't expect myself to have as much fun playing him. I was kind of dreading it. I thought it was going to be like a grind, like, I got to play Conan the Barbarian. Who is this guy even, But hopped in there, and like I said right off the bat, he had some really good synergy with Shujinkydink because he gets the launchers from him where he has kind of trouble launching on his own outside of that forward 3-3-4 string, which I will say kind of opposite to what we were just saying. That is the jankiest looking string I've ever seen. Like the way that he's like hammering his hands back and forth. That's just the
How do you feel about the like like when they do the run cancels over and over?
Yeah, that's it's a little jarring on the ears, I will say.
I didn't learn anything. I kind of messed around with them, and nothing felt like really intuitive. So I went into Invasions to try to level him a little bit. And then I'm just doing his throw strings against AI just to level him. But his brutalities are really cool. I feel like they have personality specific to him, like the executioner one from his 2-2 throw string.
Oh, yeah.
The one like he chops off your head, like that feels very Conan the Barbarian. That might even be a direct reference. I've never seen the movie.
Me neither, or read the comics or anything. The one that would kind of like it made me kind of like irk a little bit was the one where he goes to like chop your head off and he doesn't get it all in like one clean swipe. Like he gets like halfway through, and like that was like
that's
God.
the 3-2 throw string.
Yeah, that one made me kind of little.
That's like watching a knife go through your hand and the ghost face fatal blow. Like one of those kind of like,
I don't want to feel that. I don't like that at all.
It's like a sympathetic reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, but like overall cool. Fatalities are cool. His animality where he turns into the bull is kind of cool.
That's cool. If we went back to our animality tier list, I would rate that one really high. Not like the S tier, but definitely like A. Because they did what NRS always does, and sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. But this one hit where they kind of like really kind of go over the top. They could have just had him, be turned into the bull and gore him and. It's over, but instead he's like thrashing around and the swords in the ground and, chopping him up as he's thrashing around. It's very cool.
The sword was a really nice touch to that animality. I will say that really.
Yep. I think it makes the whole thing, but the bowl animation looks so good, so solid.
Yeah.
The way it's just bucking around all crazy.
Bucking around all crazy. Yeah.
So he's cool, and he looks like he belongs in Mortal Kombat. Like I said, I didn't really figure out anything. I haven't watched any videos on him, but I was petitioning the Discord yesterday. I was like, all right, I need a Conan player. I need to learn the matchup. So I played Koala for, I don't know, we played like 20 games or something. So I got to see him in action a little bit with a couple different cameos.
20 games!
And man, he is a pain in the ass. He's got, those 2-in-1 cancels are crazy.
Yeah, I played a Conan in Combat League. And I didn't realize that I had zero idea about the matchup until I'm like a game into this. And I was playing Sector and I managed to zone him out for, most of the first game. And then he got in the second game and I did not know what to do about the strings. It was just infinite pressure that I didn't know. I was trying to armor in random places. And of course, this dude's talking smack the whole time. You're going to lose to a character that doesn't even have a projectile, blah, blah, blah. You don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, oh, God, I don't know what I'm doing. You're right.
Yeah, this character's been out for 12 hours, Andy. Like,
right? Give me a break here.
I was playing Ghostface Serena, and I'm doing my little pea shooter thing. And he does the reflect, expecting the pea, because it's not super fast. It's hard to, like, with a fast projectile, like Serena's forward cameo input. I think it's hard for him to react to that depending on spacing.
Right.
So they start doing it preemptively, and you do a down back 3 instead and get a full combo. So that's cool.
Yeah. Ghostface.
You could use that on reversal to get out of the Kia's blades on block, right? You block the first 2 and you reversal in the little sword thing, which punishes me, and he's immune to the blades that come back. So.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So he definitely has things that no other character has. There's definitely Conan privilege exists.
For sure. Yeah, it's like the resurrect is something that's super cool. That's
kind of cool.
Used it a couple times. Just a side note that if you get hit by a fatal blow and that's what kills you, I guess the resurrect doesn't work.
The fatal blow I think just removes everything. Right, yeah. Will remove any clone setup, literally anything that's on this, any buff that a character has. It just kind of like removes everything. Sends Shang back into young form if he's in old form, right? Things like that. So
yeah, so that's a good counterplay. If you notice that Conan has that active, just kind of fish for a fatal blow if you have yours available. I mean, ideally,
yeah, it's cool how they chose it. Because it's not like we talked about how. We're expecting to be similar to Jason, but it's not at all. It's a buff that he puts on himself, the blood, and he only wakes up with like 50 health. So it's like one last little scramble.
Yeah, I mean that on top of your last breath, he got lots of chances to make a comeback.
Dude, and that parry that gives you like 200 frames of hit advantage or whatever it is.
Yeah, you're standing there forever.
That is the most wild parry I've ever seen.
Yeah, I got hit with a couple down 1 on blocks into parries, poke back, and okay, well, there I go. I'm just standing there forever.
Yeah, so like most parry characters, if you're bad at reacting to parries, if you have low starters, he kind of like will force you to just kind of prioritize that. So not every character has a low starter, but that's good to if you feel like parry's catching you a lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you gotta go for the old jump in and parries throws too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. That's do most parries do throws? I guess they probably would because they're considered.
Yeah, I feel like it was a crapshoot in prior games, but parry things seem pretty consistent in this game, like Sub-Zero, Cameo, and Tanya, and who else has parries with hit levels? Unless they're specific ones, right? Because Homelander has the one that will only parry punches.
Right. Yeah, not kicks or that's a very unique parry. I kind of never really thought about how like unique that is. I don't see it used a whole lot. But so other than Conan, we got not a huge balance patch, but a little bit of one. And I kind of went over like a little bit in a video earlier this week, but what were your thoughts on the changes that they made with like Katana? And I think everyone kind of overreacted on Reiko a little bit. It seems they're kind of calming down a bit and kind of coming back to, what they think.
Well, I don't have many thoughts about Katana other than I'm more confused than I usually am just about the matchup. I haven't played the matchup extensively, like, period. I tried to learn her, like, a little bit, but, like, a lot of the tech and setups and all of that sort of stuff, and now it's just, dude, it's just more shit on the screen. I have no idea. I'm a confused old man walking in the middle of the street and the light hasn't changed yet. That's how I feel about Katana.
Yeah, I've seen some videos that Retro has posted on Twitter, and like it made like her Oki game so much better because doesn't have to be in your face and like really guess anymore whether you're gonna do a wake up. She can back up and put her bomb kind of in front of you. So if you wake up, you'll wake up into it, or she can just throw it at you if you're gonna wake up buttons or something.
Now, right in the last balance patch, Katana did get like a stealth nerf. Nothing for her directly, but when they universally made it to where throws can't break armor, that ruined a lot of her Oki setups because she would use the throw to break the armor, and then the cameo would hit or whatever, or the bomb, the wind bomb.
Yeah. So so that was a bit of a stealth nerf.
And they take it away and they give it back. And then we talked about last week, we were speculating, are they giving them something because they took something away like they did with Tanya? And that's a hard no for Katana, and
kind of
Reiko.
Resounding yes for Reiko. Like it's just weird to me. Like it's almost like, why not just take away the projectile?
Especially with some of the other shit in this game, right? Like someone was quick to point out, like, Ermac and Janet out here getting 600 damage for 1 bar of meter and your cameo, and they think the real problem is Reiko's projectile. I mean, his projectile, I'm not downplaying at all. It was a absolute nuisance.
Yeah, super annoying.
I mean, it's a high, you can duck it, but it's just such good space control. It's like you're not ducking when you're trying to move, and it's like so fast and so big, so many hits. So it beats normal counter zoning options like Sub-Zero armor and things like that.
Yeah, like the EX version will just immediately get rid of
the EX version.
Yeah, Sub-Zero armor. It's one swift go as long as all of them hit you. But I mean, to have it like not only just trade, but like to get straight up punished by somebody else using projectile is kind of weird. That's a very weird decision, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like having Tanya or Sub-Zero's EX projectile every time you throw one when you're against Reiko. As long as the hitbox of your projectile collides with the hitbox of his projectile. So when he throws multiple ones, right? If your projectile only hits, say, like the bottom 2 or something, the other ones are going to keep going.
Right. Yeah, it's when I saw Mike and Metroid do the
Johnny Cage,
the Johnny Cage one, and I was trying to like recreate it. It was so hard to like hit all 3 of the stars with the glasses, but that's actually hilarious. That's a thing.
Yep. That feels bad. Now, is that saying, but so what did they give him? They gave him the air throw, which he can also EX to make it a mid, but even he's in the air, right? That's got to be a low grab to hit a croucher.
Yeah, it's I was playing around with it. It's a little funky, but it's not impossible. Uh, I did try and play Reiko for like the better part of I don't know, an
A
hour,
day.
maybe. He's just so dry. Like I think he's good. Like don't get me wrong, I think he's good. He's got unreactable overhead, good low, good mids. I mean, he's slow mids, but I mean, good range.
For me, he's missing that fuck yeah factor I'm always talking about. Like you never know where it's hiding or what character, so I try like everybody to
Right.
see what's going to stand out. And he's like very bottom of the list for me in this game. I don't know what it is about him, but he just doesn't really do anything for me. There's a couple characters. It's not just him, right? He's not the only one, but he's definitely in that category of character for me.
Yeah, he's just I don't know, he's not exciting, not interesting as a character. Um like his intro dialogues are kind of bleh, but I don't know. I had a funny I was going through today. I had was it Sindel and Quan Chi, and it was I don't think I've ever heard this one before. She goes, "For this deception, you will face annihilation," and then Quan Chi says, "As you, my means of Armageddon." This is like, wow, you just snuck 3 references in
Well,
there in one intro.
Yeah, snuck them in there with a sledgehammer.
Like not even like, oh man, that one made me
like
laugh.
pretty subtle.
Yeah, super
That's
subtle.
funny though. I hadn't heard that. I mean, I don't play other characters, so that's not surprising. But I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's funny because
Interesting.
I play both of those characters, but I don't think I've really played against in that particular matchup once. So,
Speaking of playing, do you want to play a game?
oh, I do want to play a game.
We talked about earlier. A video came up in my YouTube feed from JM Crofts, who's another fighting game content creator. I think he's known
Right.
for like Marvel stuff mostly, but a lot of Street Fighter. A very bald, jovial individual.
Okay.
So he did this. He took the Konnections game. We talked about this earlier, right? It's 16 words, and within those 16 words, there's 4 groups. So 4 words will fit together by something, and that's kind of what you need to figure out. Did you understand the mission? I made you watch the video earlier.
I did watch the video.
I don't know if I explained that well enough for the viewers at home if they don't know.
Well,
Maybe once they see it in action.
Yeah, so all of these words have something in 4 of them have something in common with each other, and you got to figure out what 4 words go with what.
Right. So you're going to click on 4 things and click submit. And if you got them right because you think they're related in some way. So I just kind of threw these together. I thought it would be fun. And I had a couple ideas, but I had to really shoehorn a couple pretty bad ones in there because you have to do like groups of 4. So
Right.
let her rip. Can you share it to the Discord so I can see like where you're hovering? That was a pretty good transition, huh? That was like dink level transition.
That was smooth. I
mean, it wasn't very good, but it was still dink level,
Okay, so air, quit, stand, bab, fat, crouch, anim, up, flawless, forward, mid, low, throw, attack, high, command. Oh boy.
All right.
So
I think a good way to start is just like try to find 2 things that you think are related for sure. And if you get 2 stumped, I'll give you some hints through these first one just to kind of get like some momentum. Bring it together a little.
So I think stand and crouch are probably related. And then maybe forward and because they seem like movement ones. Stand, crouch, and forward are movements.
Stand and crouch are a movement. Well, I guess the act of crouching.
The act of crouching.
But I'll give you a hint that the act of crouching is not that is not a movement thing. We're talking about just holding down and block.
Okay.
Or down.
So let's just submit this to get that off my screen. It didn't give me anything. So flawless, forward, mid, low, throw, attack, high, command. So I think So command makes me think that there's like types of throws, like a command grab, an air grab,
Fat grab. You're on the
fat
right
grab.
track, but fat's definitely not a grab.
Okay. I have no idea what the fat.
You can hit clear instead of submit. Here, I already kind of gave the first one away, so let me give you. Let's go back to the stand and crouch.
All right.
And what did I accidentally say when I was talking about the motion of crouching versus like I'm talking about just holding down and block? Whoops.
Right. Like stances that you're in.
I don't know. Stand block, crouch block.
Oh, I see.
What are
types of
two other blocks?
Stand block, crouch block, flawless block, and quit blocking.
Brother.
Mid block. Up block. Fuck yeah. Submit. Boom.
Hey.
One done.
There you go. So there's your first one, and now it's all narrowed down.
Okay, so we got less here. So, air, quit, bab, fat, anim, forward, mid, low. I feel like mid, low, high. Command could be types of attacks. Low, high, mid. There's no overhead. Command. I was one away, so I'm on the right track here. Low, mid, high, air.
Think practice mode.
Practice mode. So
You're in practice mode with damage text on.
Low and high throw. Hey, hit levels. Let's go. All right. I got 2 of them. So air.
Yep, you got 2 of them all by yourself. Good job. Let's keep trucking.
Oh, hey! So far, we're doing better than the last game.
No. I'm proud of you. This is going better than I thought it was going to go.
So we got anim, forward, attack, command. Let's go forward throw, command throw, air throw. I don't. What the fuck's a bab throw? I was one away though.
Bab throw is not a real thing.
So air, forward, command, attack throw. Hey, okay. I don't know what an attack throw is, but
okay. So for Dink and those at home that don't know what a throw can't be blocked. But
Right.
if you have a throw in your string, like Peacemaker does, some of those throws can be blocked. If your throw can be blocked, it's called an attack throw. Because true throws, you can't be blocked. That's the whole purpose, is to break, open somebody up that's blocking.
Okay, I didn't know that's what they were called. I know what you're.
A command throw is a throw that cannot be teched.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Not necessarily the command behind it, but the property that it can't be teched like a normal throw.
And then these last 4 are super obvious to me now that I actually see them all together by themselves. Yeah. So we got their types of alities: so quitality, babality, fatality, and animality. Boom.
Tricky business.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
You want one more? Let's do one more.
Sure, let's do one more.
This one will be easier, I think.
Well, now that my brain's in the way of actually...
You're in the groove.
I'm in the groove. Okay, so this is pretty... So we got the bridge, armory, desert, and pit are types of stages. Oh, specifically MK9 stages.
You got that one right away.
Okay, so we got Earth, Order, World, and Chaos are types of realms.
Yeah, out realm. I thought about that afterwards. I wasn't going to go back and change it. Yeah, out realm.
That is funny.
Put that on the thumbnail. Outrealm? Question mark.
Cabal, Tremor, Kira, and Kano are Black Dragon.
Okay, too
And
easy.
then
Too
Aether
easy.
Frost.
I should have given you this one
Cryomancers.
first for the confidence boost.
Yeah, and then just to watch me break down once I failed the second one. That was good though. That's fun. I would like to do something like this quite often. I think that could be a reoccurring thing. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, if you have any ideas for them, because I like I said, I kind of had to shoehorn a couple in there. The ones I was thinking that I was like, oh, I could do this easily, and it was like hit levels and block types, and I was like, oh, wait, what about the other stuff? So
I'm gonna try my hand at making one later, and I'll see how well you do. Although I tend to be pretty bad at those things. I either make them impossibly hard or like super duper easy. I'm not really good at that, but I'll try it. That was a lot of fun.
it's hard to find one. The point of the game is to have ones that are ambiguous.
Right.
That could apply to multiple different things, or you're taking it literally when it needs to be taken figuratively, or vice versa. But there's other words out there doing the exact same thing. So you think that words surely go together, but they don't at all because it doesn't fit the categories once you figure it out.
Right. No, and then like once you get like one category and you start to see them like clumped together a little bit more, it starts to make a little bit more sense. Like that triggers something in my brain that's like, okay,
yeah,
there you go.
It's like doing a word search that gets like it's like a bell curve where it gets way easier once you start finding words and circling them. But once you're down to like the last couple, and now you've got the opposite problem. You've got these circles and ovals and things like that everywhere, and you're trying to find the uncircled stuff. So
yeah, no, it was that was good. That was a good little brain exercise. I'll see if we make this a recurring thing. See, maybe people at home will have fun working alongside with me or yelling at their screen like, "You idiot! It's this one and this one, this one, and this one." Something like that. Who knows?
No, it's probably like, no, bad game design. My bad.
Bad game design. Well, we'll get some feedback. I think the viewers will think this is pretty primal.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think probably one of the biggest things to come out of this patch was the hunt for Floyd. I think that's...
Oh, yeah. How could we not talk about Floyd?
We have to touch on Floyd because, like, man, there's two sides of this coin. On one side, the community has all come together to try and, like, figure this thing out. And, like, if you don't know, there is a secret fight with a hidden fighter. His name's Floyd. You've probably seen it everywhere. If not, spoiler alert, I guess. He's not easy to find, though. So that's for sure. We apparently have found all the hints, I guess. But I don't know. It's kind of, I don't hate it. I don't hate the grind going through all these things that we found.
I do.
Like, I know you do. But it's like, like earlier, I was trying to do the Ashra and Serena one, where you have to like build your bar up from scratch. And I had a second controller plugged in just so that wouldn't hit me and I could manipulate the meters a little bit more. And my player 1 profile that I was trying to get it on didn't get any sort of a Floyd indication, but my player 2 one did. And I don't know what they did because I think they got a first hit maybe? I can't remember.
No, they did nothing. One of them, so I think there's 37 total that we know of. And I don't think there's a definite number of how many you need to get in order to unlock the fight. The most clear answer I've seen is an average of 10, but I think most people are just saying 10. It could just like be 10, but one of those is to do nothing, lose a match without pressing any buttons. And so that's what your player 2 did, right? You just turned on a dead a controller and just had him sit there while you bodied him.
No, actually, I didn't even do that. I had him start off by using Serena to drain my meter completely, so I knew I was starting from 0. So they didn't even do nothing. I mean, they did a cameo, I guess, if that counts as nothing. Like the actual character didn't do anything.
It didn't do any damage. I wonder if that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe.
If that counts as doing nothing.
There was something there that triggered the little Floyd. I saw it on their side of the screen. But yeah, so you get all these and you fight Floyd. I think I've only seen 1 or 2 people in the Discord that have got it so far.
Yeah.
Loot being one of them. Shout out to Loot. Beat Floyd with Kenshi. I'm excited to find him.
Before we shout out Salute, that was his second attempt. He had to go through it twice because he lost.
So semi shout outs to Loot. Yeah.
Not trying to shame,
oh,
but you know.
How dare you take 2 attempts at something?
We're all human. No, well, that leads me to the point. Is like you have 3 attempts because this is another thing about the Floyd stuff, as people that feel like they're so close. But some of these things are doing them with specific characters, and that character you may not play. So you go in to get your double flawless with whoever, or you do the specific Scorpion and Sub-Zero thing, but I don't play Scorpion. But what if that's the one that triggers my Floyd fight? And now I have 3 attempts to try to beat Floyd, but I'm playing a character that I don't even play. And if I lose the 3rd attempt, you got to start over with the requirements.
Which I almost welcome at this point because I don't even know what I
It would be easier to keep track of what worked and what didn't, because some of them is like, wait, was this? Some I remember very specifically whether they did or didn't, and some are like, I remember doing it, but I don't remember if it worked or not.
And things have been updated since I started doing it too, because they were updating that spreadsheet, which I'll have in the description of this video, by the way, if you want to go there. And it makes it a lot easier to find this, probably close to impossible without.
Yeah.
It will be interesting if, like, you know, like a year down the road or something goes by and like someone just accidentally triggers Floyd. It's like, oh, what? If you can even do it again after you beat him, who knows?
I think that's kind of like what it's meant to be. It's not meant to be like something that you just kind of like grind out and fiend over and stuff. They're trying to make it like the old days, the kind of like word of mouth and figuring out codes for, you know, MK3 and MK9 and things like that. But that's not the era that we live in anymore. And did they like learn nothing from Invasions? Like, no matter what, people are going to grind. And that's what made like the old tower is such a drag, and the stuff like an Injustice, and people just put it on their AI, but you have to be there to press X to continue after every fight, and then people weren't even playing the game. They're just trying to level their characters from the other room and just mashing the X button. It's just not... It's kind of out of touch with the way that people actually play these games. So that may be a hot take, but that's just my kind of curmudgeon take on it. Not try to be like I think that it's I'm smitten with the idea. I think it's like very charming. I hate how much time I've spent on this so far. I really am kind of mad at myself about it.
Yeah, I've spent a few hours myself going through and testing, and then something randomly works, and then I forget to write it down, and then I'm like, did this work or did this not work? I can't remember. I remember trying this.
I've been through literally everything, and they keep revising a couple things on this. Like what happens, right, as people unlock it more, and it's not all the stuff that they data mined was like super direct, and so things are expected to change. But I've gone through the entire list like 3 or 4 times, you know, with as things kind of like shift back and back and forth and stuff, and I'm still like, oh, just where's Floyd, bro?
Where's Floyd? Like, where's Waldo, you know? But I agree with you. I think they were kind of going for that thing where, you know, somebody at some point is like, oh, I fought this character named Floyd in Secret Battle, and everyone's like, no, you didn't.
And he's pink, like Pink Floyd, right?
Yeah, the reference, right? And I was, no, you didn't. And then some footage comes out, but like you said, it's not the day that we live in anymore. It's 2025 and we have the internet, and people can band together and help each other figure it out.
I mean, listen.
I'm listening.
This is going to sound like petty of me, but Melina's the pink ninja, you know? Floyd can't come in here rocking pink and trying to take over that mantle because, you know, there's the core ninja group, and then there's Katana and Melina ninjas that were introduced in MK2. Jade, you know, was the, you know, poking around in the living forest MK2, but not playable. But I feel like they're still like the OG ninjas, like Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and if anyone shares like a physique / costume / whatever with them, they get kind of like folded into that. But god damn it, Melina's the pink ninja.
I've always viewed her as the purple ninja.
Purple?
Yeah, purple.
That's rain.
Well, when I think
Well,
of,
I guess Sub-Zero's blue and Katana's blue. I'm just blowing smoke out my butt, but
I mean,
I was just it was just a thought,
no, I mean that's a valid thought. If you had another yellow ninja and you're like, "Hey, this is Tim," and people are like, no, you're not the yellow
Yes.
ninja." Like people would be like, "That's Scorpion."
It's true.
And
They introduced some new ninja with rocks for arms, and he's got like a brown tabard, and it was like this is
there's Julian.
this is yeah, this is Bartholomew,
Bartholomew.
our 117th cameo release, where this is now League of Legends.
Yeah, MK1 in 2032. That's what we got. It just keeps going. There was I think it was Burrito Voorhees I saw was saying, like, I think the Floyd thing's cool and all, but let's not forget about my boy Chameleon, And I think the difference there being that Chameleon has to, like, transform kind of colors to use the moves, whereas Floyd just has all the moves. He just does all the things, from what I've seen anyways.
Plus Frost's Ice Wall.
Yeah, which is really interesting, as it's like a...
It looks really cool, the little rainbow wall. It's really, I saw some people complaining it's like, this is really like what they're putting their resources into instead of trying to give us rooms and things like that. And it's like, I don't know, not even considering the stuff that we've talked about before, like what's going on and, length of support and all that sort of stuff. I bet you it is actually like way less work to conceptualize this and implement it than it would be, the size of a team and the hours and resources to make rooms from scratch if they didn't think about it before they put the rest of the game together,
And I gotta say, man, that stage looks so cool. Like, I want that stage so badly. It's so basic, but like it's just gorgeous. I don't know, the way that it just, the grass
That's all
is
I really
flowing.
want out of this thing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the stage is cool.
I would practice in there all the time. That would be my new practice zone, not the Wuxi Academy anymore.
What a coincidence they added ray tracing in the same patch, huh?
Yeah, what are the I don't really know what that is, if I'm being completely honest with you, but
Me either. I heard somebody else say it, and I thought it would make me look smart. No, it's the something with the, because of the big shiny sun. Something with the, here, I'm gonna look it up. You can edit this out or keep it in to make me look dumb.
hey, I'm right there.
We're both gonna learn exactly what it is.
You learn me what ray tracing is right now. Obviously, I know already.
I mean, it seemed like propaganda.
Yeah, ray tracing.
Ray tracing is a computer graphics technique that simulates how light behaves in a three-dimensional scene. So yeah, the light,
that's yeah.
I don't know if that's like reflections or reflections are different from that or whatever. But so you can see like particulates in the air and things like that, right? It's not just a beam of light. You can see like the dust and stuff floating through it.
Like a prism, like light going through a prism, coming out like a rainbow. I
mean, it could, like with the flare, how they implement the flare for certain sort of light. But yeah, the prism splits the light in all the different colors. All the colors combined outside like a regular stuff that makes black, brown and black. But if you do the same thing with light, it makes white.
Isn't that an example of that on a famous album cover of some kind? Home?
Yeah, the Melina Floyd.
Melina Floyd.
Pink Ninja Floyd.
Dark side of the katana.
Yeah, dark side of the moon, but they're talking about her butt.
Okay. Oh, that's actually really funny. I was wondering if they're gonna kind of make the moves like Pink Floyd references, like how like the frost wall, like the wall, Pink Floyd the wall.
Oh yeah, I think they would have made a point to make it built out of bricks, like Green Lantern.
Yeah, well,
didn't he have a brick wall that he threw you into or something?
He did indeed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what I kind of thought. Like the lightning, like thunderstruck, obviously, and then the way that the wall is like prismed up. It's kind of
thunderstruck. Is that a Pink Floyd song or an AC/DC song?
I don't know. It's from that era. I'm pretty sure. Isn't there just like two bands in that era? Pink Floyd and what's the other one?
Led Zeppelin, I bet you're thinking.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Led Zeppelin. There's just the two. Nothing else existed in that time frame,
Right. That's all you hear on classic rock. That's what they'd have you believe, but that's fake news, Dink.
Yeah, it's true. Like classic rock station when they have it on at work, it's just like those are the only two bands that exist. You know.
Yeah, like how many times can you hear, "Hey, hey, mama, like the way you move, gonna make you," well, like whatever, before you've just had enough for
I'm
the
just
day.
I've had enough for my life, let me tell you.
Would you who do you like more, Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd?
I'd probably say Led Zeppelin, I think. I mean, it's not like I'm saying one's the greatest of all time and the other's poo-poo. I like them both. I don't really
You
listen.
heard it here first. Dink hates Pink Floyd.
Yeah, interpret that the way you want. You know, Led Zeppelin is primal as fuck.
Who do you think I'd pick?
Um,
Let's see. How well do you know me? Which one would I pick?
well, neither of these sound like from what we've talked about, like genres that you would listen to. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably say Led Zeppelin as well. And
I don't really listen to like either band, but I liked the Zeppelin more when I was younger because their stuff was way funner to play on the guitar when I was learning.
That's what I was thinking.
In my older age, I appreciate Pink Floyd way more. I don't like, not to be that guy, but I don't like a lot of the brick on the wall, and they're more, and it's not because I've heard it a million times, even though that's like part of it, but I really like their slower stuff. They're like way more moody type stuff. And Led Zeppelin doesn't really have that. You know, it's more like they got some blues and rock and roll, and they do have like some kind of cool, but it's more like rock ballady, where I feel like Pink Floyd, they did like the drugs they took were different, or they had different brains that responded to the same drugs differently. That kind of give like it feels like more existential to me.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I like that word, existential. Existential.
Existential.
We both know I could go off for a long time on Boomer Rock, but I do want to talk about one thing real quick before we wrap this up. And that was that Ed Boon posted a little teaser of T1000's Fatality and saying...
Oh, did he? I haven't even seen that.
What? I posted that in the Discord.
I mean, I've been grinding. To my defense, I haven't been looking at Discord because I've actually been grinding the game again.
That's fair.
Let me look at it real quick.
So
this is my reaction video while you set it up.
Yeah, so in addition to that, on that same tweet, he said, "We are very excited to continue on with future DLC." So, and we were having this conversation in there saying like,
oh, I saw that thread. I didn't know there was a preview of that Fatality in there, but I did see his comment about that, and people were saying, "Oh, is that plural or singular?" Or, you know.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to say, but you know, Copium is some strong stuff. So I mean, obviously the obvious answer would be technically future DLC is T1000, and then that's it. Or,
and we've been in the technically situation with them before, right?
Yes, we have.
We all know plans change and stuff, and MK11, the longest supported NRS game like ever, right? Technically is, but not by very much. So that's the precedent they've set. So that's where my expectations are. So I'm not reading any more into that than exactly what it says.
Perfect.
How do you feel?
I feel the opposite. I feel this is
really,
it's going to be some big announcement right after the Pro League. Season 2 comes to an end, and we're going to get something else. What it is, I don't know.
I will say, we talked about Interloco before, right? One of those data miner guys.
Yep.
This isn't really like leaks or anything like that. He's just mentioned. He doesn't share much of like what he does. I watched his video on it. And he doesn't really show that stuff because he doesn't want NRS to patch it out. Apparently that's happened before. And so you can just take this for like grain of salt. But he said he has found things in this new patch that leads him to believe that there will be at least 3 more DLC or something like that. Definitely more than 1.
Ooh. Oh, as if I didn't need more copium than I already am huffing right now. That excites me. I'm excited for the future of this game, you know? I was worried about it. Not trying to be like MK1 is saved or anything like that, you know, but I'm just cautiously optimistic, you know? I think that's the safe way to do it.
I'm having fun with it again. I haven't played it much at all since Rivals came out, but I'm taking a break from that game now, so I was like, fuck it. I'll finally, you know, start playing games with people that have been asking me. I've been telling them no because I'm not playing the game. But It's just I've gone through my entire arsenal of characters again, trying to figure out who I want to play. I went to Melina first because I figured she had the most muscle memory, but I feel like, dude, it's just new times. What a good way to come back from like a break with like a new character. So I decided to just mess around with Ghostface since they
fixed him.
They normalized him, right? They kind of like temporarily nerfed him because the Infinite that I didn't even know like existed. I didn't even really use that path, and I still really don't. Like I play him pretty simply, I feel like, but he's mad fun. We've talked about that before, so I think I'm just gonna rock some Ghostface for a while and see what happens.
Nice. I played him as well when he came out through the invasion, same as I did with Conan, level to level 20, and then hopped off of something else. But he was a lot of fun. Yeah, lots of. I never really used the other variations as much, like the Enforcer and the Assassin. I just kind of used the vanilla stuff. So
same, and I went in thinking I wasn't going to. You know, that's something to grow into. And once I started to kind of work it in there every once in a while, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. This is actually a really key part of his defense because he can't be punished.
Yeah, and
right when he's an Enforcer or Assassin, and so that's actually, yeah. I mean, you don't need it, but it's definitely helpful. You know,
those cancels are ridiculously fast. Holy, I don't know what the frame data is on them, but man, he recovers pretty quickly.
Who are you doing your combat? We didn't mention it earlier. Who are you playing right now, like in Combat League?
I did 2 games with Quan, and that was enough for me. And I went back to Sector. She's just got everything that I wish Quan had. You know, like there's no reason to play him when she exists. You know, Armor Portal's fun, I suppose, but she has better pokes, better combos, better damage, better neutral, better pizza. You know, there's zero.
Very good buttons. Yeah, better mid, better standing 1, better down 1, better down 4. I would say because it's faster, right? And it has it also has a bit of a disjointed hitbox because it has that little thruster on the bottom of the foot.
Yeah. And I will say that Quan Chi, like in a vacuum, overall has better zoning. But Sector has way better ways to just adapt at the game. Zoning isn't really strong in this game, so
Sector's more versatile, right? Like she has Plan A, then Plan A1, Plan A2, Plan A3. Okay, off to Plan B. Okay, Plan B1, Plan B2. You know, she's got a lot of ways to do things.
And Shujinko definitely gives her ways to combo off of things she couldn't otherwise. Like being able to combo off her forward advancing mid is super good. Being able to combo off of her overhead is super good, and she can't do that otherwise. So it's just so much fun.
Can you crumple from the overhead, or you can, special cancel into the punch?
Yeah, you can special cancel into the punch, into a launcher.
That's good. That's definitely something that she needs, because I play her with Frost, and Frost doesn't get anything off the overhead.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, forward two off of like a hit confirm, right, and go right into whatever you want to do. Or I guess you have safe on block special cancels, which is also nice. That's not something that she has.
No,
you have more of like a block pressure in my game, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a really good pairing. I think it's probably right below Shujinko's best characters. She's right in there. Fits in there really good. So
what do you use for her string that you can only cancel into Fatal Blow and cameos? The 4-2-1+3 string. Do you ever use that?
I'd never use that. No, I should remember that exists though.
I use the shit out of that. I wonder what Shujinko does off of that because they're already kind of crumpled. Yeah,
it's true. If they're in like a crumple state, he probably would just hit him away if you try to do the crumple again. Usually you can't stack the crumples. We could do something else. I'm actually going to lab it as soon as we're done here because I'm curious. I kind of forgot that existed. I'm curious. But yeah, I guess that's it for another week. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for Hatyr for going on a wild ride. And we went all over the place today. Mortal Kombat, Boomerang, a little bit of food talk. So, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like because it really helps me out. And subscribe if you haven't because I make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks, all that stuff. And we'll see all you Bonehawks in the next video.
Accept your death.